not really as independent as we usually would like to be, are we? I mean, I'd love it if we were a little bit independent, if we could go out and do what we want. I mean, I did go to the grocery store today. That was exciting. So I'm just trying to get to where I can see video of everyone. It looks like I'm almost here. Getting out the magic mirror. Yes, Jen. Hello. Hello, Keith. Hello, Keys. Julie, Richard, Bill, Rachel. Oh my God. Happy Friday. I don't know what happened. Yes, I may have worn this shirt when I came to Austin. This is one of my favorite show shirts, and they're quite expensive, or at least this one was. Anyway, I don't want to brag.
Hello.
Oh, nice hats! You've got the tutu hat on.
I've got the tutu hat on because I just have to put the bow out because the
Welcome
bow out.
aboard.
Because I'm giving myself a special treatment underneath the tutu. And I was going to go, Frank. If you were there, I was going to wear the lampshade again, but it's put back on the lamp. That's BS if there was. Your hair looks cute.
Let me just read this, because Jen's got a great story here. I have something important to say. I was dependent on someone. I just received the most amazing package from my friend and yours, Rachel Cole. She sent it when she heard that I'd lost my job. It contained individually wrapped and adorable Hugs candy, something to hold on to, a polished stone that says hope, something to cheer me up, glitter nail polish, the sweetest card, and a framed picture of your quote, "Don't give up, there'll be plenty of time to give up later." Jake Johansson, I am stunned and got teary when I opened it all. Rachel is a rock star. I agree with you on that, Jen. I love you and I love Rachel, and I think this is just so sweet, and it's so sweet to get something like, as you say, when you needed it. And yes, I can thank Rachel as well for you, but I see you're thanking here. And
I'm getting a little teary-eyed myself. Rachel, you guys. Wow. Okay. All right.
Isn't that nice? Okay. Isn't that nice?
Oopsie, sorry. I just...
And also hello to Wanda. Foreskin Friday? No, I don't think we're going to continue on that.
Yeah, we did a lot of talking about foreskins yesterday.
Yeah,
thanks,
so
Rachel.
I'm
not sure if I've got the tutu hat on in the best possible. Should I bring it down lower? Would that be more chic?
Let me just say something about the tutu hat.
It's chic is not.
It's too much.
Yeah,
it's
chic.
Too much.
Chic is not the word. Oh, I'm supposed to be looking at that camera. I can't tell you. Well, I think if I just don't.
You know what else you might check? Friday?
Oh, God. No.
We're going to continue on that.
Yeah, we did a lot. Turn that nonsense down.
So here's what you may have not have noticed. Did you see the logo today?
Oh, we've got a new one with me in the Gandalf hat.
You can see it on the big screen over there. You can see it on the big screen over there.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the
armholes.
Yes, I'll go over there.
Because it's a bit hard to see my facial.
Because this is good.
Yeah. See, I've got the Wolverine here. Isn't that nice?
Isn't
that nice?
He's given me. Yeah.
It's nice to have friends who help you out when you need your friends to help you out.
Is it better when you can see the little ear puffs?
Yes.
All right. These are where her arms went. Was in here.
Yes, your legs would just be sticking straight up out of your head.
Yeah, legs were out of here, out of the...
Well, that's always the funny thing to me.
That's the crotch, and that's where her legs... I know we've already done this thing for you.
The thing about little tiny children...
I don't give a shit about this, but I just... in case this cheers you up too, Jen. Hold it. You've got to have the tutu... Oh, God, I've really got to stop messing
Jen left Rachel a voicemail. People are calling each other on the phones now.
Wow, this is a support group. Forget about who needs a life coach when you've got this kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit worried that soon we're not going to be necessary. People are just going to be calling each other up. What are you doing? Oh, you want to look in the mirror?
I'm just like, it just looks. I look crazy.
My favorite thing about little kids is the body proportion where they put their hands all straight up and it's all head, like their hands meet on the top of their head. That's
cheers, happy Friday,
you
guys.
Yeah.
We forgot to. Did we get a drink? Oh, you did get a drink.
I got the Heineken 0.0, so we can really
party like we mean it. I am drinking a lemon verbena tea with lemon verbena from my garden.
Lemon verbena, and you can't get fired for drinking non-alcoholic beer. Well, you probably can.
Yeah, Darren, the shirt is boss. It's really good. What's Benny Hill jealous of? The fact that I've got a tutu on my head? No, something else.
Yes, Jen, I'm glad you're cheered up. I'm cheered up too. I always feel a little more cheered up. We went to the beach today. That was really cheering, wasn't it? Pretty at the beach.
Well, we
the
probably
beach
shouldn't
is
admit it to everybody
closed.
because the beach is closed. And I said to Jake, "Look, can we just Jerry?" I said, I didn't say Jake. I wasn't about to give you a growling.
That hat.
What have I done?
Really
have I done something really?
No, it's working for me. That's all.
Yeah, it's really.
I'm going to be ready to make a baby later. It is Friday.
Yeah, well, it is. It's a holiday weekend, and that's when we like to make our babies. Is on a holiday weekend. Okay, I just like to get because I like to have all the tulle up. Okay, there I've really got it. It sort of looks like a
Let's
really.
try and get it right before the end of the show. So,
it's like a really crazy shower cap. You know how some old ladies have those shower caps? They just don't want to put the plastic bag on their head. They want to have a whole thing, so it sort of practically has a flower pot out the top. So we snuck down to the beach. We were supposed to go really early. We didn't go so early. But we just, I just like to lie in the sand beside this guy, and we have a little chat, and we just get really relaxed. Nice, and it's like, so we can pretend we're on holiday. We just look out, and all you see is the ocean and the horizon and a few sailboats in the sand, and you can, forget everything that's behind you.
And then the lifeguards and the police drive by, give you sort of a dirty look. And
well, no, they actually were trying not to make eye contact because what they were saying is, listen, you're being naughty. There weren't too many of us being naughty. Also, the ocean is dangerous right now. It's really walled and crashing down. And there was one little kid. I wanted to go over and say to her mother, because the mother just left the kid with the bucket in the water. And I was actually going to run and help the kid if I could see the kid needed more help. The mother's doing nothing. And before we left, I was going to walk over and say, just FYI, the ocean is dangerous today. And that lifeguard is not in his stand. He's sitting in the truck, but he's not really supposed to be working. So don't let your kid lose their life over a bucket.
You do adult education.
Well, when it comes to the life of a kid, I would walk over and say to the mother, listen.
Well, I would too if I I didn't think her kid was really in danger of.
No, I really paid attention, and then I backed off. Alan, if you're listening, I did not succumb to adult education. I completely didn't do it.
Jen says Rachel found her address and she found her phone number, so no one is safe. You did that. You each did that on your own without collaborating, meeting up in here. That is interesting. Well, I do. Yeah. Well, Rachel did find my address, so I do know that it can be done.
Darren's drinking a Varinus. Well, a Corona.
He's having a Corona.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, let's have a toast to ourselves, to taking care of ourselves and each other during these trying times.
Yeah, and way to go, Rachel. I mean, so sweet for Jen to get one of your lovely care packages, being the very lucky recipient of a few of them. And I mean, I'm going to have to hide the other bag of shortbread, so the shortbread stealers, the shortbread.
I'm not a shortbread stealer.
No, you're not.
You know that's not.
And Belinda doesn't really. She only eats there's no other. She can't get hold of Oreos or the other stuff she likes.
Let me just.
Don't make me move my tutu. I've got it just how I like it.
Don't move. 97.3.
Oh, I'm calmed down.
Yeah, let's see where I am. Check it out.
Well, I've cooled down. Okay, I'll look at you now. I'm ready. 97.3. Wasn't that me? We can't.
Now you're 97.1. You've cooled off a bit.
Oh God!
No, I thought if we were the same temperature, it would be go time right now.
Yeah, we'd have to leave the show and go make a baby.
So.
I think I've got enough energy.
Huzzah, Rachel, huzzah.
Oh, huzzah. God, it was good.
God.
Have you been watching it? You must have been to be saying huzzah. Oh, very nice drink. A lemon lime sparkling water. That sounds yummy.
God, I'm really worried that now that the thing that's monitoring the show is crapped out. So I can't see. If someone else comments, I'll be able to tell if we're reading. God. Oh, we're still getting the comments. We just can't see.
Yeah.
Where do you think the marriage is at? What do you think the marriage is at?
Oh, well, I'd definitely say just a really lovely somewhere in the nines right now.
Yeah.
That trip to the beach, and we had a lovely lunch. And
Dave says it's at 11. What do you think about that?
Dave, I haven't thought of going. Let's talk after we've made the baby. Then I think it will be. It'll be in the. It'll explode past the 10, or maybe it is at an 11. Maybe you need an outside observer to look in. I'm not leaning too heavily.
Pegged the knob. We've broken through the little peg at the end of the knob. Bang! 11. I don't think it's
as good as it gets.
You can max out.
And Jake wore his outfit. Can I just describe what he wore to the beach today? Because it was pretty great. So,
well, yes.
I'll do it quickly.
I don't mind if you do a little fashion updates.
Okay, so he had an AirTech shirt on, so he was representing for all the New Zealand
It
farmers.
was the shirt that I wore yesterday on the show.
Yeah. So for all the New Zealand farmers of my youth, Jake was wearing an AirTech shirt. So that really took me back to some school dances.
Yeah, farmer chic.
And then he had a Farmer John wetsuit, which is the one that has no sleeves on it, and he had that rolled down from the waist because it would have been too hot. He had Crocs on, beige, not very sexy, but when you put it together, the whole thing. So beige Crocs,
beige Crocs, the Farmer John wetsuit.
Yeah. Then we have the AirTech shirt, and then he had I'm telling it. I'm telling the story. You just yeah. And
Sorry.
then he had a sock monkey mask on that his mother had made. And the thing about Pauline's mask, my lovely, lovely mother-in-law, is that they go behind the ears, which is good. And then they have a little sort of beaky bit over the nose. So you look a bit weird in profile.
Sock monkey
yeah,
mask
go get
right
the sock
now.
monkey mask. But the sock monkey mask, and then he had a cowboy hat on. Have you got that? Because he gave me the great big enormous.
I don't have that in here.
He had the cowboy hat on, but he had the strap for the cowboy hat was inside the mask strap. So here he had this, but he had the straps inside. Then he had the cowboy hat on, no sunglasses. Can you picture it, ladies,
I
gentlemen?
just realized that
I looked at him when we were at a crosswalk, and I was like, okay, Jake, this is so super
You
sexy.
wanted it. You wanted it.
It was really working for me. I was like, as Jake often says, he's fishing with some exotic bait. But it works on me. If you're trying too hard and you look too hip, slick and cool, don't do hippie chic for me. I just think you look like a jerk. If you're too, it's not. If you've just got the perfect amount of one of your cuffs on your jeans is up and the other one's down and it's all working. No, you've tried too hard. You've looked at a GQ magazine. I prefer when you just come out and you've made yourself.
When I go for the I don't really care what you think look. It doesn't work on everyone, but it just really worked on you.
It was just the right combination because
you look so good with that tutu on your head. I mean, I can't.
He's just buttering me up because he wants to make a baby.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him. So there is one hat that Jake sometimes wears to the beach. I think he's worn it on the show, the pink cowboy hat. That never works on me, the pink cowboy hat. I never look at you in the pink cowboy hat and go,
well, to be
that's
fair,
just the right amount of I don't give a shit.
I'm working a different crowd with that pink cowboy hat.
Oh yeah, I've told you about the thing was to the beach. So it's the pink cowboy hat, and then it's a banana yellow rash guard that's super tight, so it shows every little and that with the pink hat and then some sort of white zinc on his face. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. But the AirTech shirt, the Farmer John, the sock monkey mask.
So the beach is closed. Restaurants are supposedly closed.
Except Jameson.
Ground Zero, the Irish bar down the street from our house, seems to be ignoring some of the rules. Although I think the restaurants are closed to interior dining, but now Santa Monica has started the sidewalk dining.
Which I'm really loving. We've gone down to 2 lanes. There's no middle lane for turning in the middle. They've widened the sidewalks with pretty ugly concrete sort of blockades, but means so the tables and the businesses can be out on the street because the cars aren't. But the poor waitress at Jameson's today, she had a face shield and a mask underneath it because I'm like, these are the frontline workers. And when people won't wear their masks and argue, I heard about some, crazy rich Karen the other day in a Whole Foods in Sherman Oaks who was screaming about not wearing her mask. What was it going to do? Ruin her silicone lips? And it's like, come on, man. You're wearing it for the other people.
Thanks for explaining masks.
Did I get a
Jerry,
bit worked up?
yeah,
Take my temperature now because I feel a little bit hot. I did some adult education adjacently. I wasn't there. I didn't do it.
97.3.
And my friend Annie didn't. She said it was on the tip of her tongue. She wanted to go Karen on the Karen and tell the Karen off, but she didn't. She
Go Karen on the Karen.
Yeah. I'm going to out Karen you, Karen.
I think I'm done with this Karen business, but okay.
I've only just started saying it. I haven't even.
Well, good for you. Yeah, good.
Sorry, Jerry.
That's why I'm saying I'm out. So I feel like once you start saying it, it's not.
Once
cool
someone
anymore.
is unhip as me, says Karen.
Except for that tutu thing, I think you're going to get that started. So Darren says he's making homemade pretzels to celebrate King Varinus and his twisted logic. I love the idea of King Varinus. King Varinus!
Darren, that's hilarious.
King Varinus is a bad king. I think we can safely say, not to his face. You don't ever want to tell a king that he's a bad king, but...
Yeah, she was quite the arse with an R.
Yeah.
Ramon, you were right. You would have punched Karen in the throat. Well, it's just that,
Jen, I
terrible
want
entitled.
to watch the reality show of you going through your life.
Yeah, when Jen's in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen in Charge is a great name for the show.
It is. It's a great name for a reality show. Jen's reality show. We're going to get a new career for you, Jen, once we've sorted out what our new careers are going to be under the rule of King Varinus.
Yeah.
So once we get ours sorted, we'll be working. Any Cavalier, who needs help after that, and if we can help you out, we will, won't we, darling? I mean,
Yes.
Rachel and us.
Betsy says we're supposed to say Ivanka instead of Karen now.
I
I like it, Betsy.
Yeah, well, I want Ivanka to be cancelled all the way back to.
I think we only say Ivanka if we're talking. Well, I don't know. It's so easy to get in trouble.
Who cares about getting in trouble?
What do you miss about childhood?
Well, I really loved having a pony. I really loved riding.
I'm not getting you a pony. There is a couple of large stuffed animal ponies under the house.
Oh God, we are trying to get rid of them. Go get them. Let's show them. We'll show them next week.
I think we'll get them, but we'll break out the stuffed ponies for Monday's show.
Yeah, when we're
Motivational Monday is going to be on horseback.
We'll ride onto the show. That would be great, and then I could relive my glory of when I was a Gymkhana Jill.
Oh my God! I'm going to even let you have the big pony if you want.
That's the white one. Oh yeah, the pink one. Yeah, that's really upsetting. Fanula was so funny because the pink one just sort of got dirtier and scuzzier, just revolting. And she kept on saying to me, "Please, Mummy, please, will you buy some of that hippie bleach that you use and put it on the pony because it doesn't look good anymore." And I said, "You can't put hippie bleach on a synthetic, I didn't say revolting, stuffed animal, because who knows it'll come out yellow or,
And just because I know everybody wants to know, what is hippie bleach?
Bleach.
Hippie bleach.
Hippie bleach is the bleach that you buy when you won't buy bleach, but it doesn't really work. And then, of course, I said, look, I'm not going to buy it because it, comes in a plastic bottle. And 7th generation, you're not caring about the 7th generation until all your containers are refillable at every store where they're sold. We can go in and you sell whatever goes in the bottle in bulk. Otherwise, 7th generation, it's single-use plastic. And I get off my soapbox and over to you.
All right.
I did it.
Jen says over 100 people have told her that she needs her own reality show. Her life is ridiculous. Well, we do know that you've got some great stories. I wish Dana was here because he's also got stories. But Ramona's got this is a great story crowd.
Everybody's got, Keys has got a good quote every day.
Don's got a good one here today. We need less of Karen and more Karen.
Oh, that's so true. We do.
Caring.
Yeah.
Caring.
Caring. I got it.
Yeah.
I can read.
Calm the farm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we do. We need more calming the farm. Well, because we're really about to embark. We're going into the great unknown, and we're going to have to really care about each other.
About to embark.
Well, we are.
We've embarked.
Yeah.
We've embarked.
Yeah, the ship has sailed.
We're at sea in the great unknown right now.
I know, but what we realize now is that we don't have any lifeboats. We thought if we had an administration that was in charge and knew what it was doing, but we're the country without the proper number of lifeboats. What Jake said this morning, which was quite funny when I was telling him what was happening in England, they're opening the bars Saturday today, but they had to say at 6 a.m. in the morning because if they hadn't specified that, they would have opened at 1 minute past 12.
Oh, if they say the bars are going to be open on Saturday, they would in England they would have opened it. Midnight Friday night. You want to just clarify. It wasn't totally clear.
A minute after midnight, they would have been open. I thought it was such a good story, you were going to commandeer it.
Nope.
So I just sat back.
Nope.
I'm doing some backseat driving, Keith.
Trying to do some Karen, not be a Karen.
Yeah. But anyway, so they won't let us into their country. We're one of the, they're letting 50 countries in, but no one from the US into Britain. But they're doing what we did. They're reopening their bars because what could go wrong?
Yep. Dana is here. Good to see you. No plastic is pretty amazing. It's hard to be no plastic. I don't think we really are that good. Oh, Keys wants to hear a good heckler story. I can tell you a heckler story. Okay. Everyone did want a heckler story.
Yeah, they really want a heckler story for Friday.
Yeah. All right.
What's your best one?
Yeah. Well, I feel like...
At the beginning of your career, they used to call you a
fag. Yes, quite often people would call me a fag.
Didn't you have a really horrible one when you were in a bar that was almost like not a kind of Hell's Angels bar, but you'd driven somewhere out of San Francisco, and and it was a really hard bar to perform, and there was you and three. That's a bar.
Well,
there's
always three. So most of those shows would be three comedians. I did a road trip once out of Seattle, early in my career. It was me and a comic named Peggy Platt and another comic named Tom McTeague, and the three of us were in my Toyota Tercel, which I think Tercels are small now, but they were small then. It was a small car. It did have 4 doors, but it was small. And we were traveling along, and the first show was in Comox. So it was Comox, Nanaimo, and then 2 shows in Victoria, British Columbia. And so, but to get to Comox, you had to, from Seattle, where we were departing from, it was 2 hours. Then you take a ferry. Depending on when you get there, the ferry then takes 45 minutes. But we got there right as that ferry had left, so we had to wait till the next ferry. So we had to wait an extra hour there, and then there was another ferry that you had to take to get to Comox. So we also got there when that ferry had just left. It was brutal. So when we got there, this place was in the middle of nowhere, and it was a cinder block building surrounded by a gravel parking lot. So it's on a corner in a town, So across the street from it is trees, but it's still a town, kind of. And but it was a small town, cinder block building, the gravel parking lot. So the building was set back in the gravel parking lot. The building was not out on the sidewalk part of the street. It was back inside the parking lot, and all the cars parked around. So we pull in. We go in, the parking lot's already full because the show's supposed to start at 8 or whatever. Maybe the show was at 7. Whenever the show was 7 or 8, we were getting there an hour after the show was supposed to start. So the bar is full of people, and there's a heavy metal cover band on stage raging out with this lead singer she's a bit big for her outfit, but it's skin tight, and she is wild, yelling, and people are drinking, and we find out that there's a logging camp where they've just gotten off 9 days being in the woods together, and now they're down in town. This is their first day. They just ate a beer at a bear at the barbecue. Yeah, they go 9 days on and then have some time off. So the bar is just raging. We go find the owner and we go, "Hey, we're sorry we're late." We're the comedians. He goes, "That's no problem." He's yelling because it's going crazy in there. He goes, "That's no problem. You can just go on when the band takes a break." So oh my God. And so I was the least seasoned of the three of us, so I got to go on first, and we decided we were going to tag team the show. So I would go on, and then Tom, and then Peggy, and I would go on, introduce Tom, and then Tom would do his 20 minutes, and then he'd introduce Peggy, and she would do her set and close the show. And so the band's going to take a break. We got to decide where we're going to do the show, and the stage is up front, but then it's all dance floor around. And so we say, oh, well, let's bring the mics out to not where the stage is, but out to the far end of the dance floor, so we're closer to where people are in the bar. So we're not just yelling across it, because we're thinking, well, there's no way we're going to be able to get people to shut up. So the band stops, and there's sort of chaos, and then people start drinking, and we move the thing, and then they turn off the thing. We try to get everybody. I got to get everybody's attention because I'm the first comedian. So I'm trying to get everybody's attention, have them look at me. We're going to start the show, and I'm not on stage. I have the microphone and the PA, but I'm not on stage. I'm out by the tables. The stage. Right,
you're out by them. It sounds like you're in enemy territory.
The stage is 25 yards behind me.
Right. So then what happens?
So I can barely get their attention, and they just kind of quiet down a lot, and they're yelling and drinking burning drinks. There's all these log guys have got beards, and they're drinking these shots that they light on fire and then shoot them right past their beard, like fire's going right into their burning faces.
So you've got the smell of singed hair.
It's insane. It's insane. I could barely get them to quiet down and start the show. They're kind of mad that the show is that I'm trying to get them to be quiet, but they're also sort of excited that I'm talking to them, and they're just so. I do my 20 minutes, the whole 20 minutes. Everybody's yelling stuff at me or adding things. I'm from Iowa. They're like, "Oh, my uncle's from Iowa. Whatever. That's a shithole." And I'm like, "We're in a shithole. We're in this bar. We're in this bar. You can't make fun of Iowa in a place that's more remote. You got to take 2 boats to get to this."
Did you tell them that?
Well, sort of. But I mean, so I get through my act, and so the best.
What was the best heckle that you got, apart from the Iowa thing?
As soon as I came off, I introduced Tom. As soon as I came off, 3 guys came over, big mustaches with a tray. They're going to light the drinks, so we're going to have drinks. So it was like they sort of were mean, but also partying. And then as soon as I was done, now I'm part of the problem because I'm drinking burning shots, and I'm watching my friend Tom trying to go, hey, let's kind of be cool and watch Tom. And then at the end of the show, we all three go on, and it's miserable. It's just survival mode the whole show. People are kind of yelling and drinking. You can't really get people organized. Maybe you can hear 4 or 5 or 10 people are laughing, and most of the people are not paying attention. And then we stop, and then the band starts playing again. And then the town is so small that there's where the comedians and the band stay in these like hotel rooms above the bar. They're not hotel rooms. They're like
quarters.
They're quarters. Yeah. They're and it's so loud that you can't go to sleep until the band stops playing at 2:30.
Until they've worn themselves out.
2:30 or 3 o'clock. And then after the band stops playing, then they got to throw everybody out of the bar. So that takes another half an hour. And then once everybody's been thrown out of the bar, they're in the parking lot yelling at each other and trying to decide if they're going to have one last fight before they go home. So that was, I guess that wasn't really a heckler story, but it was a pretty crazy night.
It sounds like a pretty crazy night. Okay, what's the craziest thing that anyone's ever said to you? I mean, we all know about the...
I think it's mostly drunk people who are just kind of conversing in the, they just don't know that they're supposed to be quiet. And then mostly you talk to them, and once you talk to them, they can kind of feel what it's like to have everybody's attention. And then once the audience has seen you be nice to them, most people in the audience, if it's a regular comedy show, want everybody to be quiet. So
what about the lady who was on her hen night, her bachelorette night, and she's in the front row and really drunk?
Well, what about her? I mean, how many of those do you want? That's
just tell us the best one of that.
Ladies on a bachelorette party are the worst because it is all about them. It's their bachelorette party, right?
Yep, they're a bride. They're a bride.
And they're women, and you're a man, and you're ruining their party, and they won't be quiet because this is their night. But you keep trying to tell them, well, it's everybody else's night too. You're at a comedy show, trying to get them to be quiet. But I don't know. I've hurt people's feelings. I've hurt ladies' feelings before just to try and get them to be quiet.
What's the meanest thing you ever said to a lady heckler?
I told the lady that this was going to happen, that she was going to get that the whole audience wanted her to shut up, and they hated her, and they loved me, and that I could say, they want you to shut up. Trust me, they want you to shut up. And they're laughing, but she's like, they like me. I'm doing it great. And I go, I could say whatever I wanted to you. I could say the meanest thing, whatever you could imagine is the meanest thing, and they would all love it. And I said, I don't want to call you this on your birthday. I don't want to call you this on the birthday. And
you had to call her it.
I did. And
you had to pull out the big guns.
The other comedians said it was righteous. I did feel bad about it at the end because it did shut her down so hard. It really hurt her feeling. Like, she went from she's drunk and she's having a good time and she's winning. She's drunk and having a good time and winning, to then she's crying and got her feelings hurt, and it's her worst birthday of her life. And it's just like, look, how many warnings did I give you? But it's hard to warn drunk people because they can't understand.
Yeah, no, they can't understand. And the thing is, she thought she was, equally the center of attention, and you put her into place. And fair warning, that's a good heckler story, I think. Wouldn't you agree, guys, that he tried to, he gave her ample opportunity, and then he had to go nuclear. How did Bush say it? Nuclear on her. Yeah.
Jen was in a church parking lot, and Randy Travis started drunk yelling at her. In a church, there's a lot going on in that story, Jen. Church parking lot, Randy Travis drunk yelling at you. I love it. Whenever you're free to come over. What's your best heckler story, Jerry?
Oh, well, I told you about it. It was when I was doing that play in Palmerston North, and it was a dinner theatre. So everyone, went out, on a Saturday night, and they were watching a play, but they really were also eating dinner and drinking a lot. And we were doing this play that was by a New Zealand playwright, and I was playing it was a group of people who decide that they're going to buy houses and, flip them. And I'm the real estate agent, so I don't have to do the grunt work. All the other people, the group of friends, they've got to paint and sand and do the woodwork and everything. And I just come in an ultra tight dress and high heels at the end and sell it to someone. But the audience got so drunk that when I came on, and they had put me in ridiculously tight, really hard to, my legs are I can barely move my legs to sort of walk across the stage. And they were yelling at me, get it off and blah, 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 whatever. And
Wait a second. I was reading the comments. Where were you?
I was doing dinner theatre in, have you been to Palmerston North?
Yeah, and somebody's yelling, get it off?
Get it off. Oh, yeah, because...
Which means take it off.
Yeah, take your dress off. And the thing is, and you're not supposed to break the fourth wall, obviously, because this is not like a comedy show where you can, if I'd been able to do what Jake had, I wouldn't have given the guy any warnings. I would have straight away turned around and told him that he was a cock. But I couldn't do that because I'm in a play and I'm not supposed to break the fourth wall. But the thing is, I'm getting more and more enraged. And I don't know if I do actually, I don't think I throw him a dirty look because I know that I'm not supposed to. But whoever I'm talking to on stage, I think can see how angry I am. And then when it gets to half time and we're back in the dressing room, I'm like, oh, well, okay, obviously we're not doing the second half of the play. These people are way too badly behaved and that's it. Fuck them. They're not getting the rest of the show. I'm not going out there again to, for that abuse. And all the other actors who are way, this is my, second repertory job. What do I know? And they said, no, Belinda, the show goes on. We do it no matter, how, drunk they are. And, I remember playing Desdemona once and we had these, we had school kids come to see it because, they all studied Othello in school. And we did this Othello, the guy who was directing it, he did not want Desdemona just, having the pillow put on her face and being smothered to death. He wanted it to be like domestic violence and that the audience is, that it's, oh, oh my God. Here's a photo of me with my Othello, if you guys can see that. So that's me with Nathaniel Lees, who's a really amazing actor in New Zealand. He is, This
is from that show.
Yeah, that's from that show. And anyway... And
look at your short hair.
No, it's only short in the front. I had it up in this metal headdress thing at the back, and then I had these big hats that I wore, like sort of in capes and things when I was going on the boat and blah blah blah. But anyway, these kids got really drunk, or arrived at the show really drunk. It was a matinee, and then of course they're saying things to me like, he's gonna kill you, he's gonna kill you. It's like, and you want to say, yeah, I fucking know it happens every day, every night. I get, I have to, I have to run around the room and scream and
You're not the only one who's read the play. Do you have to read the play to be in the play? That's a thing that people don't often realize.
So my thing has happened, when I've been in a play and I've had interactive, drunk audience members, and and you really, would like to say, well, that's it, It
wasn't Randy Travis though, was it?
No, Randy Travis has not done
Dwight Yoakam?
Drunk yelling at me. No. Harry Dean Stanton did some drunk talking to me once at the Olive. I was helping him get poured into a taxi because I worked there at the time. It was kind of sad.
Who was that?
Harry Dean Stanton.
Oh, yeah.
Who I really love, but, he and Sean Penn were really, it was not one of Harry Dean Stanton's sober times. It was one of his very drunk times, and, they were falling all over each other.
Well, it's been a good happy half hour.
Well, should we give some more uplifting stories and just heckler? We've just seen a 15-year-old come in the gate to do some 15-year-old business with our 15-year-old.
Well, I would
not a boy, a girl, so just girl business.
Well, let me just say, I would have to say that some of my favorite moments in show business have been the connections I've had with fans. I mean, I had and that's one of the great things about this show, and I just love the interaction that Jen and Rachel are having, and I hope that maybe we should start a group. Should I start a Facebook group? Maybe. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to have to start a Facebook group that we can all hang out in. Or anyway, so one of the great things about this job has been meeting and interacting with fans over the years. And I did have a guy years ago came up to me and said he and his wife had a kid. They named him Jake. But not because of me, but his name was Jake. And I signed an autograph. They said, would you sign him an autograph? He's just a baby, but would you sign an autograph? And so I signed an autograph that said, hey, Jake, happy birthday. I hope Jake is a great name for you. It's always been a great name for me. I wrote it on a napkin, I think. And something like 20 years later, they came to the show, and it might have been 19, because they said, he's not old enough to come to the show yet, but you signed this for our son, and he's so super excited. Wanted to show it to you, and would you sign one of your CDs for him? And so he's going to come to a show later. That was just so nice.
Has Jake come to a show yet? Has he gotten old enough?
I can't remember if he. I can't remember.
I think he has come to a show.
He has. He may have. One time when Fanula and I went to the Nantucket Comedy Festival together for father-daughter trip. And then she had to fly home from Boston without me. So it was one of those things, and she would have been 11, I think. Or
No, she was a bit older.
maybe
It
12.
was only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was in 2018. So she would have been
No,
13.
it was before then. It wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
no,
before
you're right.
then.
It was 2016.
Yeah. So anyway, you had to fill out the form and you had to put her on the airplane. And it turned out that as I'm waiting for her to get on the plane, because I have to wait until the plane leaves the gate, the pilot comes by, and I'm not super famous, but I'm famous enough that every once in a while something awesome happens. The pilot is a guy who's a fan of mine who used to come and see me back in the day in Boston, this club in Boston. So the pilot said, "Jake, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm blah, blah, blah." And I kind of knew him from interactions that we'd had in the club before. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm flying this plane." I go, "My daughter's on this plane." So he flew the plane from Boston back to LA and then got off. And I think you met the pilot then afterwards. Didn't you meet him for a second?
I think I did meet him for a second.
Yeah.
I think he even waved at me out of the, when he's sitting and you're in the concourse, you're inside and he's in the nose of the plane and you could actually see him. I think we had a little wave, and then I was late and Fanuna had been already scuttled off. Oh no, no, she came off the plane last. Because they make the kids with the little badges around their necks wait. Once I had to go and collect her from the office because I was like the parent who, because you have to go through security and all that. Anyway, that's a nonsense story.
Yeah. Uma says next time we're in Austin, we're going to have to check out Esther's Follies variety show. Well, that sounds fun. I don't know when we're going to get to go to Austin or anywhere really, because now we're back in weird lockdown. But I'm okay with it because I've got you and we've got all of you. So thank you. Happy Friday. I hope you have a great 4th of July. And you're taking care of each other and celebrating your independence or your dependence, as we say.
All the kids apparently going to get the hashtag Other Countries Matter going this 4th of July. Just FYI, Jen, I don't know if your daughter's already told you that's what she wants you to do on Twitter, but I've had that heads up.
Got a bit of snark from Bill Hicks, comedian from my era, passed away young. And this is some snark about drinking, drugs, and the law. This is your brain. I've seen a lot of weird shit on drugs. I've never looked at a effing egg and thought it was a brain. He didn't say effing. I should have read that ahead of time. Oh, this is from Kevin Meaney. Oh my goodness. Kevin Meaney, also rest in peace. Oh my God. If you get a minute, go on YouTube and watch some Kevin Meaney. I don't care. Kevin Meaney, I don't care. Go on YouTube. Watch that. He's so silly. You may not think it's good at first, but just keep watching it. He really grows on you. Kevin Meaney, I'm doing the Fonda workout, the Peter Fonda workout. That's where I wake up, take a bit of acid, smoke a joint, and run to my sister's house and ask her for money.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah,
The
Peter
funny.
Fonda workout.
Yeah.
All right, and then today's. I don't know if we've done this one before, but today's Seize the Day. Thanks again to Rachel for all your help with us. Jen loves Kevin Meaney. Everybody loves Kevin Meaney. Eenie Meaney's got 2 brothers, Eenie and Meaney.
Yeah.
Eenie Meaney. Eenie. Oh, God. Kevin.
It turned out the dingo did eat the baby.
It did.
Yeah, it wasn't that poor
It
lady.
did? No, it didn't.
No, the dingo did eat the baby.
No, it didn't.
The
dingo did not eat the baby.
No, I'm pretty sure the dingo did
On
eat
Monday,
the baby.
we'll find out if the
It
dingo
did.
ate the baby.
The dingo did. They found the baby's little jacket by a dingo lair. And
Oh, right. The dingo did eat the baby. I remember the scandal was...
yeah.
The scandal
Lindsay
was
Chamberlain. Yeah,
she killed the baby and then blamed the dingo, but the dingo actually did
yeah,
eat the baby.
yeah. And Meryl, what an Australian accent. A dingo ate my baby.
You do get that we're trying to wrap up the show.
Oh.
We've kind of had some negative turns and we're trying to turn it back positive. And
Well, I love Sam Neill, who plays Mr. Lindsay Chamberlain. He's very good. He's really funny on Twitter if you want someone funny to follow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to shut up. I was going to tell a little story, but that's it.
Do you want to?
No, I don't.
Okay.
That's it. It's lovely to see you all.
Happy 4th of July. We'll see you all on Monday. See you all on Monday. Bob Newhart. Today's Seize the Day from Bob Newhart. Laughter gives us distance. It allows us to step back from an event, deal with it, and move on. And, that's kind of like the comedy is tragedy plus time. That story, when it was happening, that story in that bar in Comox, Canada,
It was horrible.
it was slightly funny, but it was also just really oh my God, sort of terrible.
Yeah, that's a real beam me up,
But
Scotty.
it's one
Like,
of my,
I got to get out of here.
But it's one of my favorite stories, and I try and remember that. And the funny thing is, no matter how long you're in show business, this is probably just 4 or 5 years ago. I had a show that was super weird in a bowling alley in Ohio somewhere. It wasn't supposed to be at anyway. It was just funny while it was funny while it was happening. I just kind of couldn't believe. Oh God, I've been on Letterman 46 times, and I'm in this bowling alley in front of 12 people on a Saturday night. But we did have a good time.
Where was that? Sorry, I was reading. I wasn't listening.
Oh, that's all right. Did you read anything good?
Well, Jen says Australians don't care about whether it was the dingo or not. The dingo was framed, and then
Yep.
the dingo just stole the jacket. Yeah, we'll have to get back to this one.
All right.
Okay.
Love
Dingoes.
you. Love you. We're going to a bit of a dinner gathering tonight. That's exciting.
It's not, yeah,
Well, it's
not really a
We're
gathering.
going to
no.
go meet someone in their backyard and eat some cheese.
Yeah, yeah,
Woo!
yeah.
All right.
And we were going to have to be there in 15 minutes, but I changed it. We have to be there in 45.
Skylar's at our house right now.
Yeah, I know. Who knows what they're doing? Okay.
We got to go. We got to go. This has gotten... What's
Where's
in
the
that
beer?
non-alcoholic beer?
Give me
All
a
right.
sip of it. Let me tell
It's
you.
right back there.
Have you finished it?
All right. No. We'll see you
Okay,
all.
let me tell you. I'll tell you what the proof of this is.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to
0.0.
give up later. We'll see you all on Monday. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Let me just wave off my